So Liz, thank you for joining me today for this conversation about your work with the Trustees of Diocesan Funds for the Episcopal Diocese of Maine. First of all, tell me a little bit about your connection to Maine and your background. How long have you been involved in the Episcopal Church?
Well, that's a big question. Are you ready for a long saga? Now, I was very blessed. I grew up in Seal Harbor, Maine, and then my family moved to New York, and then they moved back to Seal Harbor, and then they moved to Rockport, Maine for a while, but we always had our base in Seal Harbor. And Seal Harbor is a village that's on the island of Mount Desert Island, so most people have heard of like Bar Harbor, neighbors Bar Harbor. But one of the things I noticed when I was going to school in Maine is that there were a lot of grades in one classroom. And by the time I hit high school in Rockport, there were 4 grades of high school in one classroom with 2 teachers. And I said to my mother, I really want to go to college because both she and my dad had gone to college. So I left the state in the mid-60s to finish high school in New York City and then to go on to college. And in 1979, I bought 2 acres from my mother. So I was working in New York City in a divine job, ABC TV, and I was commuting here every weekend and getting stuck due to fog in Boston Airport a few too many times. So one day I was like sitting on the beach at home, and I had one of those, one of 2 God moments that I've had in my life where I really felt that I was being spoken to. And God just basically said, you really belong here in Maine. And the rationale behind it was I saw so much poverty growing up, and I knew Maine was like the second poorest state in the country. And I had been so blessed that I wanted to be able to come back and contribute to the people of the state of Maine. I've been trying to do that ever since, and not necessarily all that successfully. But my faith didn't, my mother and my stepfather were agnostic. So my faith didn't start until I did move back to Maine in 1980. Some parents of people my age when I was growing up invited me to dinner, and they were singing over making dinner. And I was so excited about their singing. They said, oh, join us in the choir. So I said, okay, what's wrong with that, right? And I went to our little St. Jude's Episcopal Church, which is just a summer church. And I started singing in the choir, and I fell in love with it. And then I went to the year-round church in the wintertime, and I just sort of grew and got confirmed because I had been previously baptized. And it's just blossomed ever since.
And you're still going to that church, right?
I still go to that church, yes. 45 years later.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story. What is it about your faith that, now you said you were very interested in working with populations, underserved populations,
Right.
people in poverty. So what is it about your faith that informs the work that you do with the trustees?
Because I care so much for the people of the state of Maine, and I really love particularly visiting the parishes, the different parishes on Mount Desert Island and elsewhere. I know many of them are living hand to mouth in terms of funds, and that many people are struggling with raising funds. They're struggling with reduced populations. We've been extremely blessed in St. Mary's St. Jude's, where we're actually expanding, which is primarily due to some phenomenally great people and creating a community. So that when I'm working on looking at our investments and talking to our advisors, I'm always on the lookout for 2 things. One is, how are they doing, and are they doing as well as they should be doing, and do we need to make any changes? And the other one is, what kind of services do they offer that can help people in these parishes, such as fundraising? So one of our advisors has said that they could help us with that. So we're pursuing that to be able to broaden our ability to help people besides just invest their money.
That's very good to know. That's wonderful. And isn't it an interesting dichotomy? And I know how much you love where you live and you wear the
My map.
the map of Mount Desert Island around your neck. I know that's a constant presence. It's such a dichotomy here in Maine. We have such incredible natural beauty, and the place is such a draw for so many people on vacation and people who have summer homes here. And then we do also, as you point out, have so much need and so much poverty. And some of our churches have been fortunate to have good endowments, and others really struggle. So I really applaud you for your work. Is there anything else that you'd like to share today about your work with the trustees? And I have a question for you. What is your favorite aspect, or you can name more than one, of the Diocese of Maine? What makes it special and stand out from other Episcopal dioceses in the country?
We have one heck of a bishop. I mean, Bishop Brown is,
yes,
in my opinion, extraordinary. In fact, I even said to him when they were going out and looking for a new presiding bishop, I said, don't you dare apply, because we need you here in the state of Maine. And the staff, the Loring House staff, starting with you, is first rate. I love coming down here to Portland. I drove all the way from Bar Harbor today to be at this meeting. And I love the staff. They are just phenomenal. They're here to help you. They truly are. So don't ever think of this place as a great big autocracy or something like that. They really see their mission as making your lives in the field better. So I encourage you to connect with them if you haven't already.
Thank you. And that was your commercial for Loring House. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Liz, thank you for doing this and taking the time today.
Thank you,
Susan. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.